Hi there, everybody. Hi. So I'm here. My name is Jenny Z, and I am coming to you from my workspace. And I just wanted to talk about ritual today. I wanted to talk about ritual in the context of everyday life. We do rituals every day. I'm sure you're used to hearing this. We get up every morning, we have maybe our favorite breakfast food, we brush our teeth, we do these things that it may seem mundane, but we actually have rituals, right? And we're very ritualistic people. We love to celebrate people's birthdays. We like to come together on Christmas. We like to have sacred elements to our life, right? They bring deeper meaning to our lives. So, what if we had tools in our life to maybe focus that energy to bring the sacred into everyday life? Today, I'm going to be specifically talking about an element of ritual called the altar. If a lot of people in this New England area grew up, being Catholic, so you're familiar with an altar. There's a tabernacle. There is like the place where the holy water is. There's a place where the Eucharist stays. There's smells, frankincense and myrrh are burned, incense. So, what is an altar, right? An altar is a place where, this is my definition, an altar is a way to focus the energy, right? So that a human mind, right? We're in human bodies, but we do have access to like so much energy, but we're maybe not aware of that. So, what we can do in order to bridge that gap of like the known in our bodies and the unknown, which is energy, right? It's a huge question mark. To start the conversation is to do something in our everyday life, tangible things to touch the sacred, right? So I'm going to talk about, look, we have a blank canvas right here. By the way, I want to give credit where credit is due. I've done a lot of like my own ritual and altar work, but I've recently, and my work is constantly evolving because you need to keep a fresh kind of relationship with your altar to keep the energy fresh. And I'm going to admit, sometimes I fall away from practicing and giving energy to my altar. But there's a book here that I recently got. It's called The Witch's Altar. And it's by Laura Tempest Zakharoff and Jason Mankey. And I've been really reinvigorating my practice of using my altar with elements from this book. And also, there's spiritual tools that some spiritual artists have made. And this spiritual tool was made by Nancy Bleier. So this is what I'm going to be using in this very short video to to show you how maybe we could build an altar. And a word to the wise, I guess. You want to be careful who you show your altar to. That's why I'm not showing you my personal altar. Because you want to keep that sacred. You want to keep that container nice and concentrated. So you want to hold that just for yourself. So no eyes can see it other than yourself, to keep it potent, right? So let's start by the smells, right? The smells activate moments of bringing the sacred into the ordinary, right? I have this frankincense and myrrh, which Tori McNally, a local psychic and censor and table tipper, who, I've done work with. She gave me some of this frankincense and myrrh. So already, because I've done this so many times, I feel things switching, right? I feel things sort of coming, like, if I'm busy and I'm like scattered, Oof, I'm here now, right? The smell is like activating me into this space. So I'm going to intentionally invite my guides here to guide me as I set up this intentional altar. And I'm going to just put this out because it has done its job. So when you set the altar, it can be for multi-purpose, but you can have all sorts of altars. This altar today, it's mostly to connect with my ancestors. So I'm going to just do an example of like how that could be. And maybe I don't know anything about my ancestors. Maybe I want to just start building that relationship with them energetically. So what am I going to start with? I like to start with the 4 elements. So we have fire. Earth, air, water, fire, right? So I got some fire here. I have some earth, which are, I grow flowers in the garden. So I've dried some tulips. And I have these dried tulip petals. And I also have this awesome, I have some rose petals too. Might as well put those in. Very intentionally. But this fell from a tree, right? This is a bird nest. My husband found it like right as he was going to mow the lawn. So this is my earth. My air is a turkey feather that I also found in the yard, because the turkeys like to sit in our yard and they like to eat the little bugs. So there's my air. And my water is some, whoa! The seashell was full of sand. So we got some earth maybe with our water. So here's a beautiful seashell right here. Isn't that pretty? All right. So now we want to just create this beautiful space that we like to, that we want to come to and we want to actually sit at. You can let your intuition guide you as you go around your home and collect little things. I didn't know at the time, but I was collecting these Halloween battery operated lights, and I didn't know why I was. And when I wanted to build an altar, all of a sudden I was guided to go get these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put these on my altar. And you guys know I love the color green. So I'm going to make a circle with these lights. And you know I do Reiki and I love crystals. So I have a bunch of clear quartz right here. Clear quartz crystals. I have 8 of them. So I'm going to make a crystal grid. For those of you trained in Reiki and those of you not trained in Reiki, a crystal grid is something that you can use to send intention, energy, basically good thoughts, and can hone the focus for 24 continuous hours, because these crystals have a molecular structure where they just vibrate at a really high frequency. And so when you charge them with Reiki energy, or even if you just hold them with, a positive intention or a loving intention, you can transmit that. So I'm going to put those on. And when I put them, I'm going to put them diagonal from each other so that they can bounce the frequency to each other. I have a master crystal. It's terminated on one side and it's pointy on the other side. Terminated, what does that mean? It means that there's a blunt end, right? And then there's one defined end. So that means the energy is going to go not this way, the blunt end, it's going to go the pointy end, right? So I'm going to sit here when I want to use my altar, when I want to use my crystal grid, and I'm going to charge this. And I don't have to have Reiki. I can just send the energy of love to this crystal. And then I go ahead and I trace my crystals. This is a very raw description of what a crystal grid is. And I want to keep maybe a piece of selenite on my altar so that I can cleanse. Selenite is a great cleanser of crystals and other objects. So when I'm done using my crystals, I can just place it right next to each other and have that be cleansed, right? So what are the other objects on my altar here? I have a lot of different crystals I can use. Of course, you can never have too many cute receptacles, beautiful receptacles. This is my favorite French pudding, La Frenier. I don't know if I'm saying it right because I can't speak French. But it comes in these little terracotta pots, and I have purple ones and red ones, and it's just important to delight your senses when you're at your altar and when you're doing ritual. It's a very sensory experience, right? You're human and you want to touch the non-human. You want to touch the energetic. So you want to enliven yourself and delight your senses. You're a human. Enjoy yourself, right? So we have these crystals that we can put. There's statues that can represent people. So if I don't know, this is my ancestor altar. That's the purpose of this altar today, right? So what I want to do is I want to connect with my ancestors. What if I don't know who they are? Well, all right, I seem to know from doing a family tree that I have an ancestor. Let's call her Hazel, right? Hazel Ferguson is my maiden name. Hazel Ferguson. Let's just say that Hazel Ferguson, for some reason, when I'm going around my house, I'm guided to pick up this symbol, this statue to represent Hazel, right? I don't know why. I'm just going to go with it, right? Trust. And I think as we do ritual, we start to trust that more. We trust these little nudges that we get from who knows where, right? So I place that in the middle. I'm sensing that there's some grief in this lineage. Not but ooh, it's a visceral feeling, right? Ooh, Hazel had some hard times in her life. I'm guided to the Apache tear, and this is not, by no way, shape, or form am I being prescriptive here. Like, you should go out right now and get an Apache tear or go on Amazon and type in Apache tear. This is just what my journey has led for me, and this is what I have, I'm stewarding right now. I was going to say in my possession, but that felt a little weird. So this is one of the objects that I have, right? So, okay, Hazel has had some grief in her life. I'm guided to work with her in this way to perhaps heal my own grief or heal Hazel's grief, and which is one and the same, right? We're from the same lineage. I'm going to place this right next to Hazel. And all right, the Buddha that hears the suffering of the world. This is the crouching Buddha, right? And it's said that if you rub his back, it can ease the suffering of the world. So I'm practicing, the Dharma, and that's close to my heart. So I happen to have this statue. So, okay, Hazel's having a rough time. But hold on a minute. I also feel some joy. Like, Hazel loved to dance. She loved to dance. So what? I'm guided with this statue. Look at this guy. He's got that free movement. Oh, he is having a good old time, right? And boy, does he just evokes joy in me. So I think, all the grief that Hazel had in her life, she also had joy too So I'm going to honor Hazel's joy as well. And, you know, I'm feeling that maybe so I'm getting a hit right now. I'm getting an intuitive moment here where I need to write down a word, right? I have like these little notepads, right, with a little paper, you know, like these cute little things, right? It just makes you feel like you're set on fire, right? You like these are the things that make me feel so good, right? And so I'm going to write my little message and I'm going to slip it right under here, right? The last thing that I feel guided to do today is to put a mirror, right? I'm going to put this mirror right here. Let's see if I can stand it up. Because, pretend that it's standing up because I can't get it to stand up. Let's put this here. So what if I'm sitting right here and I'm looking that way? I can see myself as I'm doing my ritual. Some people don't like to do that. They like to be in the zone. They like to just have an embodied experience where they're not looking at themselves, and that's fine. I really like to make eye contact with myself. That way I can really feel embodied while I'm doing this practice. So, all right, now I have a fully formed crystal grid here, and it's all charged up too. And you don't have to do this way. You don't have to charge it up before or anything like that. This is all what I'm feeling guided to do. So I'm going to just send some love to my ancestor Hazel, and I'm going to ask my guides to come in. Guides, I would love to be with you for a moment and connect with anything that can relate me to my ancestor Hazel. And then as I'm tracing I'm doing this like phlegmatic task, right? I'm just doing this thing where I'm just like tracing all of the crystals. And as I'm tracing it, maybe I can get some information that's coming in. Maybe I get a word. Maybe I get a feeling in my body. Maybe I'm feeling a little stiff. Maybe I need to move. So anything can come out, right, of this at all. So, all right, I'm feeling complete. I feel very complete. I've had this session, you know, maybe I have a lot of duties that I have to do today. I don't have time to sit here all day. One great thing about these lights for me, I love these little lights, is that I can just turn them off and then my session is over. I thank my guides. Thank you, guides, for assisting and guiding today. And I would like to ask that any and all healing that's been done today, may it continue until its completion. And thank you, Hazel, for being with me today. And I look forward to communing with you next time. And then we can do something called dry bathing, which is a tool in Reiki to be able to disconnect from the energy, disconnect from the ritual, disconnect from your grid and your altar. I can blow out my candle and then I'm all set. And I realized one thing too that I forgot to put is altar cloth. I have like all sorts of cloths for different times because I have little altars all over the place for different reasons. And these cloths all mean very special things to me. One of my friends went abroad and they went to the Chinese opera, the Beijing opera. And this is all the facial makeup from the Beijing opera. So you can see like how all of the fabrics and all of the elements in your altar can really just shape and kind of create the narrative around all of the ritual that you would like to do. Now, if this seems too full-blown for you, and it's like, yeah, okay, this is a little over the top, it seems like something that I couldn't do, that's fine. you can take one element from what I showed you today and you can start incorporating that right away. Even if you don't have all the particular objects, what's really important here is you don't get new objects. You use the objects that are found in your home, in your bedroom, in like things that you've been holding on for a long time and you're not sure why. Try going to those things and go near them or think about them, and maybe this is one of the reasons why you've been holding on to them. You can keep a journal at your altar, so you can journal. Once you've created this like beautiful space for you to be creative within and touch the non-ordinary reality of energy and ritual, and you can start to journal and see if you get any insights. You can do so many different things at your altar that maybe you can't do when you're just going through your daily life, feeling like, okay, I got to get this done, I got to get this done, I got to get this done. It's a very linear way of working, right? When you sit at your altar, that all dissolves. Time seems to just drizzle away. It's very good to like sit at your altar when you have like a nice chunk of time. But again, if you don't have that chunk of time, you can place an altar, like if you have a hutch in your kitchen or you have like a little end table, you can create like very ordinary seeming altars embedded in the flow of your home, and if you can even just sit there for a moment, you can touch that moment, and maybe you can touch that that specialness, that sacredness, and maybe that can grow and grow and grow, and organically you can grow with it and see where it takes you. So maybe one day, like before, when you're like, wow, what you just laid out over here is something that it seems like a little over the top. Maybe one day this will not seem over the top for you, because it's about creating a conversation with the divine, with something bigger than us, right? So I'm going to stop talking. I really, really appreciate your time, and I hope this was beneficial. Drop a comment, and if you have a ritual, if you have an altar, if you have like elements that you would like to share, I'm sure that would be really helpful and people would really like to know about this. So let's be there for each other. Let's help each other, because right now there's a lot going on in our world. We have a pandemic, we have racial inequity, we have political unrest, we have an election coming up. There's a lot happening, not to mention all the personal reflection that we've been through because we've been at home. We've had a chance to be introspective. So there's a lot of patterns that are dropping away for us. So this is a beautiful way to be able to integrate some of that information and protect ourselves, create and cultivate and sort of curate the kind of life and energy that we want in our lives. We get so much forces coming in from outside. Let's just block that out for a moment and create this world that's just for us, and that we can get back in touch with what is truly important to us, that is so essential to feeling balanced and operating from a place of responding instead of reacting, which, is never beneficial for anyone when we react. So thank you again. I better stop talking because I can just go on and on. So I hope this was beneficial. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Have a great day, everybody, and happy creating your rituals.